Hello, everybody.
Hello. Waiting for others.
Hello.
Cool. You should turn on, put some background music, because when I enter, I don't know whether my auricularis works fine or something wrong. Just to verify that everything's fine. Some background music would be nice, or some background noise, I don't know, or some background tone, pitch, anything. Just to make sure that headphones work correctly.
Yes, Alex, I agree with you too.
Hi guys,
Hello, Vlad.
how are you?
Very, very well. Very well.
Very good. Okay, traditionally we wait for a couple of minutes and then we will start.
Vladislav, as a background noise, could you tell us what is the weather in your place?
What is the weather? So we have beautiful weather today. So it's something like plus 16 degrees.
Oh, cool. Is it for during the daytime?
Yes, of course. It's nighttime, it's
temperature do you have?
something like plus 10.
Plus 10.
Uh-huh.
During night we have also plus 10, but during daytime we have about 24.
All right. I think we can start. So Zoom has kidnapped my backgrounds. I don't know what happened to them. So my funny llamas has gone. So I will get them back until next time. So welcome everyone to our 28th weekly governance call of the DeFi sub-governance of WTON. So we have some discussions today. So I will just go through the agenda and then we will start. So first of all, Wintex Pro team is going to present us the third stage of the Polkadot bridge description. So actually it will be the contest to be launched. Then we will discuss on the wordings for the DEX stage 2. Svoi.dev promised me to say a few words about this. Next, we have the contest for oracles prepared by Mitja. So, and if you didn't have a chance to look through it, so take a couple minutes and scan it. And last but not least, so we'll discuss the listing on Uniswap that's published today and the meetup of the WTON lines next week. So we'll start from the Polkadot stage 3 discussion. So Alex, please.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Alex from Wintex team, and I'll walk you through little changes that we're going. Okay, we are almost ready to start the third stage of the contest with the bridge that's from Polkadot to WTON. Past 3 weeks, we've been very, very quiet, as you might have noticed. We've been doing very big research. A huge part of it was about distribution of responsibility in a bridge while choosing who's going to vote for the transactions. And as a result of it, we came to a conclusion that implementation of VAF on smart contracts can come to a huge commissions. And as a result of that, we proposed to use WTON native cryptography to do that instead of VREF. On the substrate base, on the other side, that's Polkadot base, we still would use the VRF because it's been already implemented and it's tested, so it works well. Let me go through a few nodes that we propose for the third stage. First one is, as we discussed just now, distribution of relayer responsibilities. It's one of the hard criteria that we propose. Second is commission calculation. This stage would include the calculation of gas amount for the message, but without the real commission payment. Third one is CLI, tool for relayers keys generation. That's somehow related to the distribution of responsibility, but indirectly. And as usual, we would update our DevOps tools to run several relayer nodes at the same time this time. And of course, the documentation, which is absolutely necessary for this type of contests. The draft version of this document, we will post in the chat in Telegram after the meeting, of course, yeah, after the meeting. Our friends would suggest to me, and we would be ready if in the chat we all agree, then we would be ready to do the submission this Friday if everything goes well. It could be a discussion about VRF, so in case that happens, please don't hesitate to chat with us in WTON chats in Telegram. And that's about it, I think. Vladislav, I think back to you. Vlad, I cannot hear you. Something
Okay,
wrong.
thank you so much. Yeah, I was muted. Thank you, Alex. So guys, do you have any questions on this? If not, so Alexei, thank you so much. So we wait for your draft of the contest proposal to be published soon. And everyone, please have a look on it and just provide your comments. Thank you so much. Okay, so our next discussion topic is the DeX stage 2. So svoi.dev, guys, are you here? So you wanted to say something?
Yes, hi, we're here.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Can you hear me now well?
Yes, we do.
Wait a second. Okay. Yeah, as I remember last time, Mitja told that he's about to start the draft of the contest. And we were going to send our vision of criteria to evaluate the contest. So we send it into the chat, and maybe somebody has any opinions about that. I'll add it now.
I didn't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I'll tag it now.
Okay, maybe you will go through it and just introduce it, describe what you proposed. It will be convenient for everyone, please.
Yeah, for now, we still think that probably for different kinds of architecture should be still different criteria. Because, for example, as first one, we offer Pools Explorer with search and pools and first in the form of a site. It has its own database for storing intermediate results. And for order books, approximately the same. And we think that an order book should be seen, and the history of trading with the schedule also should be seen. Just, I'm going with the list we provided before, so you can read. The second one is full factories. And we think that it is necessary for users to have the ability to independently create a pair or order books with tokens. Yeah, and also for order pairs, criteria is to support cross-merging and fork ice orders.
Okay. Do you have this somewhere described in the document already?
No, as soon as it was discussed that Mitja will make the draft, we didn't do the whole draft of the contest, but I think we can do this.
Yeah.
Do we want to discuss this, or
Yeah,
how do you
sure,
want to do
sure.
it?
Of course we do. So, but
now?
Anzor would like to say something, please.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Again, I looked through the requirements, or well, rather evaluation criteria for the second stage, and I thought that maybe we should stick to more functional requirements rather than interface requirements, such as Pools Explorer, because this is something that just feeds off data that is already in most of the solutions, I guess, and it's just a display of data that is already there, which is, in my opinion, it's not a critical thing for a second stage of a complex solution like DEX. So it's just an interface thing, and maybe we should focus more on the performance stuff, on the optimization, on the use of Freeton specific technology that can make DEX better, faster, cooler, more effective, more well, more cost effective as well. So yeah, rather than making criteria evaluation criteria about the interface things, or yeah, we should probably make it about the functional aspects of it and performance aspects, optimization aspects of it. Maybe UI can go for this third stage, if there will be one. I'm not really sure about because we discussed before that maybe that most probably there won't be 4 stages for the DEX contest. In the roadmap for the first stage, it said about some 4 stages, but I guess it was a preliminary list that will get updated, and the amount of stages will be reduced to maybe 3 or 2 to make to sort of stimulate us to stimulate the teams to release products sooner, and so that Freeton will have a working solution for DEX.
Okay, Mitja, please.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with Anzor on that. But I just think that we don't need a lot of stages. I think let's just make one more stage and that's it. And let's pack everything there. The criteria should be definitely broader, I think. And even if we're talking about interfaces, like why it should be a database, like there is no hard criteria of having a database if you have a function, as Anzor said, that performs this as well. So I think that also, like, why it should support cross-margin and fork order and not support some other, like stop limit orders and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So what I think is like, the criteria is like, let's take my proposals, let's take everything that we need to develop for user to use it, apart from, verification audit stage, which another sub-governance is doing. And let's pack it into one. Let's try to formalize the criteria as broad as possible criteria. For example, like whoever, creates more types of orders wins the criteria. Very simple. It doesn't need to stick with a particular order type. Like if you create more, then you win on that criteria, right? And so on and so forth. So let's just, my message is to do that. Like take, whatever is needed is in terms of functions for the DEX to be kind of used. So like, I totally agree that anyone can create, but for example, even when you talk about the creation of the, create pair, right? So first of all, it's not necessarily need to be a pool, right? Because like we don't have a pool, but we can have pairs, but we have pairs. So for example, So like it definitely need to create pairs, but there is a problem like kind of with creating unlimited amount of pairs. So whoever can create pairs, and for example, can these pairs have the same name? Wouldn't it confuse the user? If that confuse the user, who decides? And so on and so forth, how you resolve that. So there are hard questions about this, you know.
Actually, I can share some experience about how we released on Uniswap, but it will be later because we actually faced exactly what you're saying about.
Yeah, so it is a problem. Like we're thinking of that right now. Like what is the best way to approach that? Yeah, maybe Vlad, you can share your experience about that. But anyway, so I think that we just buckle in the interface, same thing. Like for example, we can say the interface should be a millisecond kind of respond, a microsecond respond time interface or whatever. It should have like the user should have an ability to do that or this and that, and not how we should do that.
Yeah, Andor, I will say a few words and just give you the floor. Actually, what I was thinking about the second stage of the DEX is on the first stage, we actually tested and displayed the concepts of the DEXes that can be run on WTON. And they are all different and all beautiful in that kind or another. However, the second stage, in my opinion, should be about the end user actually, and this includes everything what we discussed before today. This means it should be manageable. That a user can add a new pair and start trading it. It should be accessible, meaning that it should have methods or they already ready some kind of UI for the user to be able to access this DEX and perform operations, and it should be productive enough. So meaning that if you have a lot of transactions, and they should not take too long for a user to perform the exchange. I think this can be the main objective of the second stage, and all the detailed criteria we are saying about, like what kind of orders it should support, what is the response time should be, or time to deliver the order, and all the methods it should support. They're just the consequence of this. Maybe I'm wrong, so guys, please. Anzor, say words.
Yeah, I wanted to add that we should probably also address the reliability aspect of it. So I guess maybe in the form of tests included in the solution. The solution should probably demonstrate how reliable it is on a large number of operations done consequently, so that it doesn't get stuck after maybe 5 swaps or 5 orders processed, or well, whatever number, n number of operations, and that it should be stable. Some performance metrics, I guess, the number of seconds it gets, the number of seconds it takes to process certain stuff like swaps or liquidity provide, or yeah, whatever functionality there is, or order book functionality. So and also if we're quite focused on Debot interfaces here. That's sort of like a more or less unique feature of what we're doing here. So we want to make this universal interface that sort of sticks out and then allows anything else to be connected to that. So I guess Debots should be there too, with so that using Debot, user can do everything that a Uniswap user or any centralized exchange user can do. and also compatibility with solutions like bridges. So since there's no sorry, since there's no there isn't one tip 3 standard yet.
You just took it from my mouth. I just wanted to say about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please go on.
Yeah, so since there's no standard tip 3 implementation yet, and I wouldn't be so bold as to say that there will be one until the end of the second stage. I hope so, that there might be some, I guess, consensus about it. But for now, the reality is that we all have very different, well, actually, yeah, we all have very different solutions for tip 3, and maybe some, well, wrapper solution for every DEX, or some other way to integrate and to make everything, well, not everything, but most of the working stuff compatible between each other, and to also take into account bridges and stuff like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Tip 3.
Yeah, Mitja, please.
Yeah, well, thank you, Anzor, by the way, for the bots personally. And yeah, I think it's very important. So for the bot stuff, we need to run a contest on interfaces, because the bots are powered by adding like new interfaces to it. So for example, if we like want to have, like, for example, a graphs on like real-time graphs, for example, for trading, we need to add to the bot engine an interface for graphs, and browsers need to support that. So I just think it is not possible to stick it into that contest, because it maybe requires an additional contest to run. And I don't know if DeFi group would run it or anyone else, but it definitely merit another contest. Would be a contest for interfaces for Debot and their implementation, for example, for DEX. Because there are many elements, many like user elements that you want probably to have in Debots to support the full functioning, like, you know, exchange interface like you have right now in you know, interactive brokers, for example. And there is a way to do that in Debots. So it just need to, but I'm not sure we can do that inside this contest of DEX.
At least yet. At least yet.
Well, yeah. for now, because we don't have this interface. So it's like, if we wanted to have it now, we need to run a special contest for making the bot interfaces and their browser supports for that. And I'm saying it merits another contest, and maybe even other people could do that also. Just 1 second, but
yeah, sure, please.
If it's not like, I'm not sure it's the best way to do that through teams create their own Debot like interfaces, because each of these interfaces can be reused by all of the DEXes.
Yes,
like
exactly.
It doesn't make sense to put it into this contest. Like, let's make another contest, and then we can all reuse the same kind of, you know, winning solutions.
Actually, I wanted to add two points here. So first of all, as some of you may know, so there is already kind of consortium on standardizing the tip 3, at least for DEX implementations. So we are currently discussing this, how to make the token a standard one, so that all DEX interfaces.
I must comment on that. Was my second part of the comment I wanted to make.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that if we have such standard token, it will be easier for everyone to support it.
It is impossible to do that. It is absolutely impossible.
I know your point on
no,
this.
It's technically impossible to do that, because that will limit the things that we can do with tip 3 tremendously, because it will end up that's like, okay, just listen to the end, and like, again, I will repeat myself maybe, but
yeah, I know your point, that it will be your point is that everyone who is just doing their own standard of token should list it on the
no, my point is not that. There is a reason for that. Okay, it's not just that I want everyone to and not that I don't want to have a single standard. My point is that this is impossible. And that, again, why it is impossible? Because when you have a centralized ledger contract, like ERC20,
Mhm.
you don't care to add there 25 interfaces, like, because it doesn't change a thing already, because it's so bloated, it already has so much storage, so many gas, that you don't care. In TIP3, you must have a code of a contract inside any contract that wants to verify it.
Mhm.
That means that if you're doing a truly distributed system, you actually do care about the size of the code.
Yeah.
If we make a universal code for the TIP3, it means there will be, because there are 20 teams who want to add 20 interfaces for 20 different use cases, we will end up in a huge contract with a lot of interfaces in it if we want to standardize it.
Mhm.
And that will go exactly against the whole point of TIP3,
Mhm.
where
I see.
you can have a compact contract which can verify itself on chain and be inside 116 kilobytes structure. So in Freeton, just think differently. You cannot just apply like.
I'm not a developer like you who can think on the core level of Freeton, frankly speaking. Yeah, at least what I'm trying to say that we are currently trying to understand if we need, if all the interfaces that are required by different teams can be somehow
There is
minimized.
There is an easy solution to that.
Please.
First of all, it doesn't matter how you minimize. You cannot have a 16 kilobyte code, which even if all of the teams minimize the interface to 1, it won't fit together into 116 kilobytes. Okay, and you won't minimize it to 1 because that's just not possible. Okay, so wait, let me finish. There is an easy solution to that. Like, remember that the amount of gas you save by having a distributed contract pays many millions times over the amount of gas you save by having a bridge. So you can have easily the wrappers or converters between all of these exchanges. You can write it very easily, and we're going to do that. Like, we're going to, for example, you have a wrapped ETC, right? We want this wrapped ETC to trade on our DEX. What we're doing, very simple. We're providing this simple contract where you deposit your wrapped ETC, you get your wrapped ETC for DEX, and then you trade with it. And then if you want, you exit, because this transaction cost is so minimum of doing that, and running this contract is so cost effective, and the DEX itself is paying for itself so much because of this distributed thing, then it's like really uncomparable to the cost you would pay if you would have just one contract with all the interfaces sitting there everywhere without the bridge. Understand? So it's like, you can run a math.
Yeah. I trust you, Mitja. I trust that you already did the math. No need to just do this here, actually. Yeah, this is a good point, actually. So I don't want just to, continue this holy war, some kind of discussion. I just wanted to add the second point. I wanted to propose to the second stage of the DEX, actually, because we have other points on the agenda as well. I wanted actually to think about having some kind of unique interface for aggregators, like 1inch or kind of, for all different DEXes. Because obviously there is this is a good trend now that big aggregators of DEXes, they matter and they are more convenient for users. And if all the DEXes that we are currently developing by different teams will have pretty much similar interface to access by aggregators, so it will facilitate the liquidity flows and facilitate the user experience, actually. And it will also just take the UI part away, so that any UI can access any DEX. Actually, yeah.
But aggregator is, correct me if I'm wrong, aggregator is a front-end technology, more or less, right?
Yes, exactly.
If it's a front-end technology, all they need is to have a Debot there connected.
Yeah, maybe that's what Anzor actually was.
There is no need for them to support any tokens, because they don't need an interface to the token. The interface to the token is
No,
is
it's not about the interface to the token. It's about the interface to the DEX itself. So I mean,
yeah, well, you have Debot to all of the. You can write actually one Debot that access all the DEXes, and that that will be a Debot aggregator.
What I wanted just to propose. It's all the DEXes think about just kind of standardizing the. I would name this endpoints, yes, so for public access. It's not a correct word, of course.
Well,
yeah,
if
but,
every DEX will write a Debot that fully interface with all the DEX functions, then combining these 3 Debots, it's not a problem. Remember that one Debot can invoke. There is a function called invoke in Debot. So one Debot can invoke another Debot. So you can write very easily a Debot that aggregates all the DEXes by just calling other Debots of the DEXes.
Yeah, that's exactly. And probably this is what was your point about. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It wasn't, honestly, but
it wasn't. Okay.
It sort of was a pre-point to that, I guess. So what you're proposing is that's a question to Mitja mainly. What you're proposing is that rather than creating a single TIP3 interface standard, we create a single Debot interface standard. Is that
I would say just no, it not exactly. Like you just describe all the interfaces that you have in TIP3s and write the wrappers. You just write a standard wrapper for your DEX, and like combining all these wrappers would just easily create a point where you can exchange any token with any kind of one TIP3 with another. And that's easy. It's really easy contract.
I'm actually I'm not worried about our internal interconnectivity inside WTON. I'm more worried about what Vladislav said about the facilitation of liquidity flow from the outside.
Understand. Then it's meaningless to have a TIP3 interface. Actually, what you need is it's like an interface to the smart contract, which is Debot. So if you have a Debot, I propose, to do that through Debots. I mean, of course, you can access all of that through just listing all of the tokens in like SDK or whatever, right? You can connect with the contract directly, but if you already have logic embedded into the Debot, then it's easier kind of for aggregator. I think they just call a function like they do in the REST API or something.
Yeah, the main point for me about the TIP3 interfaces was that the existing DEXes or centralized exchanges that are out there already, they need some sort of.
Well, imagine you need the price of a pair taken from your DEX, for example, right? All they need to do is call a Debot a price function in your Debot, and Debot will return a price. And that's like all the logic behind how you retrieve this price is already in your Debot logic, in your which executes locally instantly, right? So it's actually like an API for your whole DEX.
Yeah, that's actually what I was proposing.
And Debot can now also aggregate functions, so you can actually call a particular function inside Debot by just having a message, constructed message, and it will go to this place and on the background already execute all the necessary steps. So you don't need to go into conversation with Debot to get to the 5th function of the 2nd leaf of the 3, for example.
I propose maybe let's take our time to think about what this interface of the Debot can be, for external services to access typical functions of any DEX. And in this case, I think it will be easier for everyone if they just provide a Debot given these functions so that anyone can access it. And this can be a good point to include in the second stage, in my opinion. Okay. Any other opinions on this, guys, please? raise your hand and say something?
Sorry, I have to raise my hand probably, but maybe I can just say. So it will be the draft of the contest during the next week, or we just will be still thinking everybody. Maybe it is better to start doing the paper so everybody can
Absolutely.
add, or yeah.
Absolutely. Who will take the initiative to just ignite this document and so that everyone can comment and add something? Mitja, wasn't you to just prepare the construct?
The draft of the contest?
Yes.
Okay.
You promised this. I remember.
Well, I
remember.
just thought of oracles. Like I did oracles, so yeah. But okay, I'll do that. Fine.
Yeah, we can do it as well if
yeah.
nobody
Anyone just
against it.
prepare the draft version, yeah, of the contest, so that everyone has
please,
a single
do that,
single point.
and then yeah, let's discuss it on some document.
Okay, I have also one question to you. Do we need to first have oracles in place for your DeXes functioning, or oracles are not something that affects this contest? Because some DeXes may rely on oracles for some purposes. I don't know. Silence. Mitja.
Sorry, I don't know.
I mean that we have the oracles contest coming. Yes.
I thought that someone like will comment on this contest and just provide the prices, because I didn't want to think about prices. Like I think Vlad is your best person to think about how much to pay for the contest and stuff like that.
No,
and
not prizes. I mean prices. I mean
prices
oracle price feed for DeXes, if you need this.
But it's already there. So I thought just that people will give comments and we can finalize this and run it. I mean, what else is there?
No, I mean, in terms of launching the second stage of the DEX contest, should we wait for Oracle's contest to finish for the working solution with price feeds?
I don't think it's any related.
Any related?
Like,
okay.
Yeah. You can have a TIP3 tokens traded, TON tokens traded, wrap TTC tokens traded, and then once we have even if you provide like wrap whatever stable DAI, for example, we can have it as a stable coin. Like it's not I don't think.
Okay, very good. All right. In this case, if there are no other opinions on this this contest, let's move further. So actually, we have a draft of the Oracle's contest. Thanks Mitja. So it's very well done. So and my team also had a look through it. The only comment they provided is that actually there is no need to put a certain vendor lock to TON SDK, because there's absolutely no difference on how you send messages to free TON. This was the only comment, and all the rest they said it's okay, it's valid. So if there are other opinions on this contest, guys, please provide them, because in all our how to put this, we all need it to be launched the fastest. I consider this silence as no objections. Mitja, can we please just rephrase that instead of TON SDK, something to send messages to free TON? So that just remove this vendor lock and let's launch the contest.
Yeah, we can do that, but you'll see that it's like it just
I promise. In any case, most of the teams will just use TON SDK to do
it's
this.
Not. It's not about that actually. It has nothing to do with what most of people will use. Anyway, I took it out already. Anyway.
Okay, very good. If there are no objections in this case, so I will just finalize it in terms of just wordings and some procedural points to put inside, and let's have it launched next week, early next week. Okay. Good. So good so far. Now let's discuss the listing of WTON on Uniswap. Sergey, are you here? So you want to say a few words about this?
Yes, I'm here. We wrapped TON to WTON and put some liquidity on Uniswap for testing. Now we want to solve two technical problems. It's problems not on bridge, not on WTON. It's problems in Ethereum ecosystem. First problem is smart contract verification, and the second problem is to set place in Uniswap because we have another WTON in.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yes, it was a surprise for us, but shit happens, and we're trying to solve this problem. But it doesn't matter. For start, we are planning to start first yield farming mechanic for liquidity providers. Maybe on start on next week, maybe it will be tomorrow, and all liquidity providers will get special LP token in Ethereum ecosystem, and they will be able to move this token through bridge to WTON ecosystem, and they will earn TON crystals for it. We will put some TON crystals, maybe 200k crystals from the DeFi Alliance to this test, to the program, and I think it will be fun.
Yeah, very good. Actually, about this surprise, there was surprisingly another WTON token that Sergey told about. So please don't be mistaken. So actually, the WTON crystal has the icon with W, and the other one is just some blank icon. And there is also, as you may have seen, there was a communication about the listing at Uniswap distributed today in free TON groups. There is also a link to the token at Uniswap, and from the page of the token you can easily find the trading pair. Currently it's a listing of one pair, WTON to USDT, and later on, so we will think about adding more. Yeah, good. Any questions on this, guys, please? Yes, Dmitry.
Yes, hello. I just wanted to ask what are your plans to somehow promote the WTON, and what are the next steps? As I asked in the Telegram chat, maybe if FreeTON community understands some basic steps you will do, then some companies or teams or individuals could somehow help this process to go better and smoother.
Of course. So you can just help us sharing the news about this, please.
Yes, about plans. Yes, the first point is a test farming mechanic. We want to bring TON crystal for some big liquidity providers from Ethereum ecosystem, because if they want to get their reward, it will be in our network in FreeTON, not in Ethereum. And it will be for months, maybe, if it will be success, because we want to attract some millions dollars liquidity to our liquidity pools with WTON. And for it, we will create some mechanics for moving liquidity between Uniswap and between DeXes. What I hope the DeXes in production will start in 2 months, and before we will start, and we will be ready to get liquidity more than $100K. Some liquidity providers from Ethereum will know about FreeTON and about our mechanics. So about community, how community can help, all community can bring information about WTON. We will publish some articles on Cointelegraph and another news. And if you can bring it to your friends, to groups, to some media, of course, it will help to all us.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I wanted to add that WTON is just a part of the whole ecosystem. It doesn't exist just, like in a vacuum. So it actually is strongly linked with the whole progress of our DeFi ecosystem that we all working on here. And token itself is not something that will attract investors or whatever. So, but if we will show that we have a progress, that we have a lot of good projects appearing here and there, and so we communicate about this and let's people know and spread the word about what we are doing here. It will help to bring a value actually, and for liquidity providers to see the value in Ton Crystal and later move to free Ton instead of Ethereum. And thanks to Ethereum has stopped today. Of course, I understand this is just open Ethereum client that has syncing issues, but this will just underline once again the preciousness of such products like free Ton that most probably will never face such issues. Maybe Mitja will just prove that I'm wrong, but
I hope not.
Yeah, we all hope to, and we'll do our best to avoid such situations. By the way, about communication, so we will have two meetups next week. One hosted at EPAM meetup. Actually, if not everyone knows what EPAM is, it's a big outsourced developer, and so they have thousands of developers across the world. And we will be running the free Ton session next week. I also dropped the link to the group so that everyone can join. It will just be hosted online, and there will be people from Ton Labs or from Broxus explaining what is free Ton, so why does it matter and what we are doing. And I will also say a few words about the DeFi ecosystem. So please join, and if you have something, some ideas, we can just deliver. So please feel free to PM me. And we will also host the first meetup from the Ton Alliance in Moscow. It will be both offline and online. So offline part is limited, unfortunately. So it's only 60 places there for attendance. But so you are the first I dropped the link to. So please, if you want to attend, don't waste your time and just register now. And but all others can easily join online and also just participate in the discussions. EPAM session will be run in English, and DeFi Alliance will be running in Russian. So just choose the one that you like the most. They more like pretty similar, with the only exception that Ton Alliance meetup will be mostly focused on the DeFi, on trends and what we are doing here and try to achieve here. Yeah, so and I will also be grateful to you if you provide some feedback after these meetups. So what can be done better, what we should focus on. And after that, so these two mostly a generic introduction to free Ton. And afterwards, we will host also a developer-centric meetups to explain on specific points of how to interact with free Ton, on how to develop for free Ton. Mitja, I also want you to see you as a speaker on one of these. So if you can, of course.
Virtually.
And, virtually or in person, why not?
In person is impossible. In Moscow?
Maybe in Moscow, maybe not. So the first one will be in Moscow, definitely, because it's easier to organize. And the next one we will just decide.
Sometimes.
Yes. So,
let's do it in Belgrade.
Yeah, in Belgrade I can jump over. Yeah.
Yes. So by the way, it's a beautiful city. So I visited it recently. So it's an impressive city with impressive energy inside it. So I invite everyone to come there. Also, I want to remind that in the end of the May, on the 25th and 26th of the May, there will be AIBC conference in Dubai, where the Freeton will have a big stand. I think the biggest one, with 4 sections, and one of sections is DeFi. So there will be the representatives of us, and also please participate in the contest for attending this conference. There are, if I'm not wrong, 60 tickets in the contest. So just participate, describe why you should go, and yeah. So please hop in. So I will be there as well. So if anyone want to meet in person, so please come. So we will be working there, explaining to all the participants of the exhibition, you know, what is DeFi in Freeton. So and yeah, so if you want, please come as well. This is about communication parts. This is pretty it from my side on the announcements and news. There are also some short digest of news from TON Alliance dropped in the DeFi group. So take your time and just look through it. It's a very interesting one. If you have any other points to discuss, so please raise your hands. Now it's open floor time. Okay. Yeah, Vladimir, please.
Right. So guys, look to the chat. If someone missed the basic block radio podcast, there was very, very good issue last days with Mitja interview. And if you can spread it through the friends, I appreciate, because there's a very good and funny discussion. As for me, it's the half an hour inside that, since 40 minutes or something, that's the very jetty battles in the media. I appreciate it. It's a very, very good, how to say, contributing to the community, because the basic block radio, I know them personally for 3 years. It's the one of the best Russian speaking podcasts who do very professional interview with industry. So I dropped the link to the chat. It's the Apple podcast and the many other stuff of it. So don't miss it.
Okay, very good. I also dropped it in the DeFi group. So we just
Perfect
for it not to be lost.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and yeah, guys, please remember that Freeton is not, you know, me or TON Labs or Broxus only. So Freeton is a community, and each one of you matter. And so if every of you just will distribute a word about Freeton in their social media to their friends, explaining why Freeton is a good choice for certain purposes, so it will help us as a whole project to develop. We really need to just change our mindset, because I still see that some people continue asking, so when you will do something? It's not about when you will do something, it's about when you will do something. So we are Freeton. So the more you involve, the more you do yourself, so the better is for the whole project. Yeah, just some lyric.
We're all Satoshi Nakamoto.
Absolutely. We are all Nikolai Durov.
And Pavel. Why not?
Yeah. Pavel or whoever else. Okay, guys, if there are no other topics, then I will just start my traditional countdown. And 3, 2, 1. No topics. Okay, thank you so much for attending, and you're the best audience. And see you next time, next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye all.
Bye.